Welcome to English Lab Channel. Tune in to natural fluency. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Lab Channel. I'm Chris, and today we're talking about one of my favorite topics in the world, food. But more specifically, how to navigate the experience of eating at a restaurant in an English-speaking country. I'm here with Michelle, who I happen to know is a bit of a foodie. Michelle, have you ever had a truly embarrassing moment while trying to order food in English?
Oh, Chris, where do I even start? I think the worst one was when I first moved to London. I went into this very traditional, fancy restaurant, and I was so nervous that when the waiter asked if I wanted still or sparkling water, I just panicked and said yes. He stared at me for a good 5 seconds, and I just sat there smiling like an idiot. Eventually, he brought both, and I had to pay for 2 bottles of water. It was a very expensive mistake.
That's a classic. Yes is the safest and most dangerous word in English. I had a similar experience in New York. I tried to order a steak, but the menu was so stylized that I couldn't find the prices. I ended up ordering what I thought was a normal ribeye, but it turned out to be a massive 3-pound piece of meat meant for 4 people. The waiter brought it out on a tray that looked like a shield from a medieval movie. I was mortified.
At least you didn't go hungry. But honestly, the stress usually starts before you even see the food. It starts with getting a table. In many popular cities, you can't just walk in and expect a seat. You have to be prepared. My sister Sarah learned this the hard way when she tried to take her boyfriend out for his birthday in San Francisco. She didn't realize she needed to book ahead.
Wait, Michelle, you said book ahead. That sounds like something you do with a library or a flight. Can you explain what that means in a restaurant context? I'm sure some of our listeners are wondering if they need a library card to eat.
Good point. To book ahead simply means to make a reservation in advance. In other words, you call the restaurant or use an app to save a table for a specific time and date. If you don't book ahead at a popular spot, you might find yourself waiting on the sidewalk for 2 hours, which definitely ruins the birthday mood. Sarah and her boyfriend ended up eating hot dogs from a street cart because every single restaurant was fully booked.
Street hot dogs are a New York tradition, but maybe not the best birthday surprise. Once you actually get inside and sit down, the waiter usually comes over quite quickly. They'll ask about your drink order, but they also often ask if you have any dietary requirements.
Dietary requirements. That sounds a bit formal, doesn't it? Is there a simpler way to say that? Or maybe an example of what someone would say if they had one?
You're right, it is formal. It basically refers to any special needs or restrictions you have regarding what you can or cannot eat. For example, if you are allergic to nuts, or if you are vegan, or if you can't eat gluten, those are all dietary requirements. My coworker David has a very severe shellfish allergy. Every time we go out, he has to tell the waiter, "I have a dietary requirement. I'm allergic to shrimp and lobster." It's better to be very clear than to end up in the hospital.
Absolutely. Safety first. Now, once you've cleared the allergy hurdle, the waiter might mention something that isn't on the menu. They'll say, "Today our specials are," and then they list 3 or 4 dishes. I used to get so confused by this. I thought they were a special because they were for famous people or something.
Only in Hollywood, Michelle. Could you clarify for our listeners what a restaurant actually means when they talk about the specials?
Of course, specials are dishes that the chef has prepared for that day only, usually because they found some very fresh ingredients at the market or they want to try a new recipe. They're not on the regular printed menu. Often the waiter will say them very quickly, and it can be hard to catch everything. My advice is always to ask, "Could you repeat that one more time?" or "How much does the fish special cost?" Because sometimes the specials are the most expensive things in the house.
That is a very savvy tip. I've been caught by the market price trap many times. Now let's talk about the actual act of ordering. I see a lot of students saying, "I want the chicken," or "Give me the salad." In English, that can sound a little bit aggressive or rude, even if you don't mean it to be. We usually use phrases like, "I think I'll go with the..."
I think I'll go with something. That's a bit strange, Chris. Does that mean the chicken and I are going for a walk together?
I wish. To go with something in this context simply means to choose or select it from a list of options. It's a softer, more polite way of saying, I have decided to order this. So instead of I want the burger, you say, I think I'll go with the burger. You could also use it when choosing a color for a shirt. I think I'll go with the blue one. It shows that you've considered your options and made a choice.
That sounds much more natural. I'll have to remember that. Another thing I noticed is that people are very particular about how their food is served. I had a friend, Maria, who was very healthy. Every time she ordered a salad, she would ask for the dressing on the side.
On the side. We hear that a lot in movies. Michelle, can you explain the mechanics of that? What is Maria actually asking the kitchen to do?
It's quite simple, but very important for some people. If you ask for something on the side, you want it to be served in a separate small bowl or container, not poured or mixed into the main dish. Maria liked to control exactly how much dressing she used, so she didn't want the kitchen to soak her lettuce in oil. You can do this with fries, sauce, or even bread. It's a great way to customize your meal without being too difficult for the kitchen.
I do that with my steak sauce. I hate it when the sauce covers the whole meat. Speaking of steak, that is one of the most stressful things to order because of the temperature question. The waiter asks, how would you like that cooked? And if you don't know the terms, you're in trouble. I once heard a guy answer, very dead, please.
Very dead. Well, he's not wrong, but we usually use terms like well done. Chris, since you're the steak expert, can you walk us through the levels, especially what well done means compared to the others?
Sure. Well done means the meat is cooked all the way through until it is brown in the middle and has no pink or red left. It's the most cooked level. On the other end, you have rare, which is very red and cool in the middle. In the middle, you have medium rare or medium. My father always orders his steak well done, and every chef I know cries a little bit when they hear that because they think it ruins the flavor. But hey, you're the one who's paying for it, so order it how you like.
Exactly. Now, let's imagine the meal was delicious, but the portion was huge, like your 3-pound steak in New York. In some cultures, it's rude to leave food on the plate, but it's also rude to take it with you. In English-speaking countries, it's very common to ask for a doggy bag.
A doggy bag? Michelle, that sounds like I'm going to feed my pet. Is that really what it's for, or is there a different meaning for us humans?
It's a bit of a funny name, isn't it? A doggy bag is just a container or a bag that the restaurant provides so you can take your leftover food home with you. Originally, people might have pretended it was for their dog because they were embarrassed to admit they wanted to eat it the next day, but now nobody cares. You just say, "Could I get a doggy bag for this, please?" And the waiter will either take your plate to the kitchen to pack it or bring you a box. It's a great way to get 2 meals for the price of 1.
I live for next day pizza. But eventually, the moment of truth arrives. The bill, or the check, as they say in the US. This can be very awkward if you are with a large group of friends. In some places, one person pays for everyone, but in English-speaking countries, we often prefer to split the bill.
Split the bill. I've had some very long arguments about this with my friends. Chris, can you explain the different ways people split the bill? Is it always exactly 50-50?
Not necessarily. To split the bill means to divide the total cost of the meal among the people who ate. You can split it evenly, where everyone pays the same amount regardless of what they ordered, or you can split it by item, where everyone only pays for what they personally ate and drank. I prefer splitting it evenly because it's much faster. I have a friend, Lucy, who always brings a calculator to the table to calculate her exact share down to the last cent. It takes 20 minutes. It's a bit much, honestly.
Lucy sounds like a nightmare at a dinner party. But once you've decided how to pay, there is the question of the tip.
Ah, the tip, or the gratuity. Michelle, this is something that changes drastically depending on which country you're in. Can you explain what a tip is and maybe give some advice on how to handle it?
A tip or gratuity is an extra amount of money you give to the waiter or waitress to thank them for their service. In the US, it's almost mandatory and is usually between 15 and 20% of the total bill. In the UK or Australia, it's more optional but still appreciated for good service. I remember being in a small town in England and leaving a huge tip because I was used to American rules, and the waiter actually ran out after me because he thought I had accidentally left my money on the table. He was so honest.
That is so sweet. In some places, they actually include a service charge automatically on the bill, so you have to look closely. If the service was terrible, you have every right not to leave a tip, but in most cases, it's part of the dining experience. Now, sometimes, if you're lucky or if you had a long wait for your table, the manager might bring you something that's complimentary.
Complimentary, that's a long word. Does it mean the manager is going to tell me I look nice today? Can you give us another word for that and explain why a restaurant would do it?
Well, I'm sure you do look nice, Michelle, but that's not what it means here. If something is complimentary, it means it is free of charge. The restaurant is giving it to you for free as a gift. You might get a complimentary glass of champagne for your anniversary, or a complimentary dessert if the kitchen made a mistake with your order. It's their way of making you feel special and ensuring you come back. Another way to say it is, it's on the house.
On the house. I love that phrase. It sounds so generous. Well, Chris, I think we've covered the entire journey from the reservation to the free dessert. I feel much more confident about my next meal out. Should we do a quick restaurant recap for our listeners?
Let's do it. Let's look at those 10 terms that will make you sound like a savvy diner.
First, remember to book ahead. Don't be like Sarah and end up eating hot dogs on the street. Call the restaurant and save your spot.
Once you're there, be sure to mention any dietary requirements. Whether it's an allergy or a lifestyle choice, it's important to communicate your needs clearly.
Listen carefully to the specials. These are the unique off-menu dishes of the day, but don't be afraid to ask for the price.
When you're ready to order, use the polite phrase, "I'll go with the," to show you've made a selection. It sounds much smoother than "I want."
If you want to control your calories or your flavors, ask for your dressing or sauce on the side. It's your meal after all.
If you're a meat lover, know your temperatures. If you want it cooked all the way through, ask for it well done.
Don't let good food go to waste. Ask for a doggy bag to take your leftovers home. It's perfectly normal and very practical.
When the check arrives, decide with your friends if you want to split the bill. It keeps things fair and prevents any awkwardness.
Don't forget the tip or gratuity. Check the local customs of the country you're in so you know how much extra to leave for your server.
And finally, keep an eye out for anything complimentary. If it's on the house, enjoy it. It's the restaurant's way of saying thank you.
What a great list. You know, Chris, all this talk about food has made me incredibly hungry. I think I might need to go find a nice Italian place for dinner.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm craving some pasta. I might try to find a place that has a complimentary appetizer if I'm lucky.
Good luck with that. Well, thank you all for joining us on the English Lab channel today. We hope these tips help you feel at home the next time you eat out in English.
We want to hear from you. What is the weirdest or most delicious thing you've ever ordered at a restaurant? Or do you have a doggy bag story? Tell us in the comments.
We love reading about your culinary adventures. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay in the loop for our next episode.
We've got some great topics coming up, including how to handle those tricky social situations.
Keep practicing, keep eating well, and we'll see you very soon.
Until next time, I'm Chris.
And I'm Michelle.
Enjoy your meal. Thanks for tuning in. Keep practicing, keep connecting, and don't let your fluency fade to static. Leave us a comment with your stories, hit that subscribe button to join our community, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. See you in the next broadcast.